All right. So welcome. This is Decision Making Thursdays, 10 a.m. First lesson. We're talking about recording your attendance. Put your name in. You just put the start time and the end time will be good. It's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. is 3 hours. If we break, you can add the times in. When I first was creating this, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just going to make everybody responsible for the first hour time, second hour time. It's okay. You're all adults. Put in the time we started, the time we end, all right? And that is enough that I'm going to be responsible in you. I'm going to add the thing at break, our first break, I'll add where you can add this in. And then you have documented your time with me, and I will give you the points, okay? So any questions on this one? I just let it go. Any questions on this? No. Okay, good. All right. Now, all righty. So, oh, we cannot minimize my thing. All right. I think, or do you have any questions at all? Because we could almost do the PowerPoint right now. So is there any questions about any of the things I just said?
I just want to clarify something real quick. The 5 quotes, do we have to read the chapter in order to get those 5 quotes, or how do you want us?
Okay, I want you to have fun with the quotes. So no, you don't have to read the chapter. You can read the chapter and get them from the quotes from the chapter. The chapter is pretty good. It will talk, you'll learn about decisions. And the first mind test questions are about on the quiz. I will have the questions directly in my PowerPoints. That's one. 2, the best way I think is more fun is do a internet search. And I show it to you. Let's see if I can pull it up. I'm going to see if I can first pull it up. Okay, on decision making quotes. And I'm going to use the word funny. So now I need to go to screen share. Perfect screen share. Okay, it keeps talking to me. Okay, share. All righty, here it is. Share. All right, you see the quotes I put in. I did a Google search. I happen to like Google. Some people don't like Google. That's fine. I don't care. If you like it, you don't. You can go here and look, I got some up here and I put in the word funny because I love humor and I need more humor in my life. And if you want to be humorous, that's good. That's a good decision to make. Life is positive. So can I put in this one, my making decision skills closely resemble a squirrel when crossing the road? It's kind of, I'd have to say my reason for doing that is when a squirrel crosses the road, they don't really look, I think they just run. So I make decisions too quickly would be how you interpret that. That would be fun. But can I copy this? I can copy the link location. You know what you do? If you can see this is you click on it and it should come to where you can copy it, okay? And then all you have to do is post that. Oh, this is a cute little baby here. It's Pinterest. I'm sorry, that's Pinterest, right? Or whatever this word is. I don't belong there. I joined Pinterest. Yeah, I joined when it first came out. I think it came out in 2010, 2011. I haven't been on it since then. When you make a hard decision, flip a coin. Why? Because the coin in the air, suddenly you know what you're hoping for. So that's kind of a good thing. You know, if you don't know what you want, you flip a coin, you'll know how you're wishing it comes up head. If you said head is to turn in your assignment today or turn it in tomorrow. I mean, very good. So have fun with any of them. I will have you also, I'm going to stop the screen share on this and go back. Let's see. We'll just stop screen sharing. We go back to the list of our names. Do we? Let's see. There we are. I don't know. There we are. I think we're back to the list of names. I'm going to have you write down some movies, maybe trailers where they made a decision. Okay. So there we are. We're back there. So good. If you you should enjoy this class. You should enjoy learning how to make decisions. It can get pretty boring, and I don't want to be boring. So that's it. All right. Does that help you? Yeah. Okay. So now what are we going to do? I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint. So you have to wait a minute. I have to pull it up. Open up my PowerPoint and do browse. Any questions?
I have a question. So for the thing where the attendance when we put our names and stuff, are you gonna send that out to us? I don't remember.
Yeah, I am. I haven't put it in your classroom. I wanted to make sure, I wanted to make sure it was good with the other class that I'm teaching, that if I kind of wrote it kind of stupidly, but they seemed to enjoy it yesterday, not enjoy, but they accepted it. So I think that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to go into Brookline. I'm going to get our week 1 decision-making PowerPoint. And then if you're absent, you're going to have to do both Moodles. Now I screen share it. All right, we're going to share. Chat says to, let me chat. Everything is due Sunday night. Discussions, I thought they should be turned in before discussions, but no, by Sunday night. The reason other online is usually by Wednesday is because if nobody turns it in, then what can you discuss on Sunday if everybody is waiting for Sunday? Because I've eliminated the discussion because it just didn't work out, we have to be here for 3 hours. Why should you be in a discussion then? So if you turn it in Sunday night, great. I probably will not respond to you if you turn it in late, like not late, but if you turn it in on Sunday, I probably won't. But if you turn it in before Saturday, I should be able to respond and say, hey, I loved your quotes. I liked this one really well. I got a kick out of it. It was funny, stuff like that. So I am now going to screen share my PowerPoint. All righty. Can you see the PowerPoint? Do you guys see your pictures coming up at all, or no? Is it just for me? All right. So Shafi is good, but again, this book was written, I believe, in the 90s, early 90s, like 91, 92. And we make 30 years later, we make decisions a little bit differently. And because our ethics and the way we do things, you know, the internet was just being evolved. We have so much at our fingertips, tips. We have all the social media. We're making decisions quicker and also longer than before. So Shafi doesn't really talk about that at all. And that's why I don't think that you should have to do critical thinking. And I'm sorry, you do have to do critical thinking in your entire life. You don't have to do the Moodle or the MindTap. All righty. So each week you're going to be assigned a chapter. You're going to do picture perfect. You're going to be attendance. This is written from last year, so I'm going to delete that. A MindTap. You don't do these. Okay, you're only going to do the quiz right there. Okay, anybody have any questions on those? No. Okay. This is what we're going to cover today, what is expected. I expect you to at least attempt the MindTap quiz. I want you to turn in your attendance. I'll make sure that that is a point. I want you to do a picture perfect. It's in place of doing the MindTap. That's why you're doing that. I will have a recorded session. If you're going to be absent, you're going to have to do the MindTap and the Moodle, and you should actually watch the recording. We're not taking notes. That's for the on-ground class. You guys are so big. I wonder how. I have a picture of all you guys. You're just over there. There we go. Okay. So this is when I have a PowerPoint for you, I'll have a big slide like this picture. That means when you see it on a slide, that means it's in MindTap. Means it's important. You'll also see that I have your turn. That is when I teach on ground. This class is online right now. I don't believe we're going to go back online at all. But if we do, we will be discussing everything. What is the good thing about discussing is, if you think about it, the way you learn, if I was to give you new information such as an octopus has brain neurology neurons in each arm, and they are allowed to make decisions, not allowed, they make decisions individually from each arm because they have brain nerve cells in each arm. I might say that to you, and I could tell you what, you know, how many seconds and all that, the brain neurology of an octopus is. So if I told you that today and did the whole lecture on it, you might remember it in a week. But if you were to discuss it with at least 2 other people, 3 other people, repeat it, you're going to learn. That is why discussions are very important in online learning and why they have test questions. Okay, so that's just a sidebar. Okay, see, this is a test question. I say here, if you want to look at the PowerPoint before you take the MindTap test questions that you're responsible for, then look for this sign. All right. Now, we are able to think critically because our natural human ability to reflect. And what does reflect means? Thinking back on what we're thinking, doing, or feeling. And I bet you all knew what reflect meant before I read it to you. When should you reflect as a critical thinker? You should reflect every night, and not so that you stay awake, but as you go to bed, right before you go to bed, reflect on what you did. That's really a good habit to get into. We'll talk about creating atomic habits by, I forgot the guy's name, but I'll be posting stuff about that. You become humans, and I don't know if any other animals do that. I can't know what any person is thinking. I might say, oh, and oh, did this behavior because they thought this. I'm wrong. I cannot know what anybody is thinking. I can't read anybody's mind. AI has not have the ability to, they have the ability to think in a systemic order, but they don't have the ability yet to read people's mind. They can say, hey, they did it in the language area of the brain, and this is why I think they thought that, but they can't. All right, enough of that. I can go on rattling. But anyway, so that's a good thing to do. That's another, I just did that. Okay, went backwards. Living an examined life. This is a proactive questions that you might want to look at this slide as you see it's interactive. I talk about it, is what is the purpose of your life? Okay, think about that for a minute. What is the purpose of your life? Mine has had many purposes. the best purpose, the two best purposes I have, I could group them all in one, is to be a family member. It might not be for you, so it's not a right or wrong. My purpose in life became alive once you have children, and once you get married, all of a sudden you have a life outside of you. So who are you and what do you want to become? That's a really good question, another one that you might want to think about. Most of you have chosen really well. You're going to be nurses, you're going to be in the medical field, you're going to be a healthcare worker. Excellent. I became a medical technologist in my first life, my career life. I'm talking only about my professional life. Then I found out that I was always in my children's school volunteering, so I became an educator. And then I became a professor. Now I even want to reach out to be more of a volunteer and maybe help people that need more help. I have volunteered and helped at a women's shelter and help women young women learn how to make decisions a little bit better. Challenge and recognize and confront superficial and obtrusive elements. And that's what is a superficial and obtrusive element. Well, superficial is doing it to gain other people's values, flaunting something, not really digging deep. We're going to dig in deep. If you were on ground, you could share what you dig deep in, and then it makes it more vibrant for you, but we're not. We're here, so just think it to yourself. Obtrusive elements. For me, I really care about what other people think. Sometimes that's obtrusive, sometimes it's not. Money can be an obtrusive element. Will I do something for the money? Will I not do something because it's not a lot of money? Those are examples of obtrusive elements that you might want to think about. And what prevents you from thinking deeply about your life? Emotions are what prevents me sometimes to think deeply. I don't like bad emotions. I block whenever I have something terrible happen to me or I see something terrible happen. I will block it completely out of my mind. That's not always good. I would mostly say emotions. You're going to learn a lot about me because I can't talk about you. So think deeply about your life. I don't like hurting anybody. That's a big prevention. I will go out of my way not to hurt somebody and just rather do that. And I believe, I would say most of you like to help other people. That's why you're in healthcare and medicine. If you didn't like helping other people and caring a lot about other people's lives, you wouldn't be here today. So we're going to look at this more in a positive light. So think about that. This prevents my cloud propensity. So living the examined life, discussion 1, I say tonight, but you're not in the discussion. So, but talk about this to somebody in your life that is in your life a lot. Hard to get into deep with strangers, but is it better to live an examined life? So you go to bed every night and you reflect on how well you did it. Or if you don't believe to examine, you don't want to, it stresses you out. So should you, and when you examine, say, hey, I could have had this conversation, I should have said this today instead of that, that could stress you out and you get depressed and you get into negative emotions. So that is why some people believe that it's better to live an unexamined life. All right. It's up to you. Some people don't, and that they're good. They're excellent people, but they just don't examine their life. They can just whatever. I will try to have everything positive in this lessons and talk about how good life is. I've been called a Pollyanna, which is somebody who just believes in the positive, but that's all I like to look at. So I examine my life. When you examine and say, hey, I should have said this in this conversation, or I could have done this better. Also, be grateful for what you did do right. And this went well. You need to do that more than you do of what you should have done. All right, enough of that lecture. Now let's go on to up this one, test question. All right. Each chapter of Thinking Critically includes a feature that challenges you to apply thinking strategies to a pair of images that provoke the viewer to find the connections, confronting beliefs and questioning evidence. What is this called? When you think about visuals. Is it good to have visuals? Oh, yeah. So a visual for this unit, this chapter, is this one here. It'll help you think of a test question. Do you have the use of visuals? I do. I just cleaned my desk, so I don't have one. I'll be right there. Okay. You'll like these visuals on you. Okay. Let's see if I can, I don't know if I can show them to you. Let's see. I'm being gloating. This one, my grandchild, who's going to be 4 next week, last Christmas, he gave it to me. And because he lives in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which is really cold right now, I keep it on my desk. It's a visual for me to remember how much I love him, how cute he is. And so even in July, I have it on my desk. Another visual is this one. It's a rock. I love rocks. And this one, my other grandson gave me, and if you can read it, it says, stay weird. You will believe that about me either today or by the end of the 16 weeks. And it has an emu on it. He loves emus. He's 13 now. And this is my other grandson. Luckily, I'm lucky he lives right near me, 11 miles. And he has a sister. So if all of you have children, not all of you, but if whoever has children and you have parents, grandchildren are everything, people will tell you. So that is a visual. I look at it all the time. I just cleaned my desk to start this new thing. So I look at them and I remember those. Nice. So if you have visuals, the American flag is a visual. You have lots of, oh, I have them because my hiking group went, what is this? This is a visual for everybody. You know who that is, that's Starbucks. If you have children that are 1.5 years old or even 1 year old and they see this face, you know what? They're reading. That's a precursor to reading. That's enough on that. Let's go back to the PowerPoint before I bore any of you. Okay, so I have to go to screen share again, right? Okay. I'm kind of clumsy about screen sharing. So there we are. We're back to screen sharing. If you take the question is thinking critically about visuals. We're able to think critically because our natural oh, we already did that. We already did that. Provocative. Oh, wow. So it went all the way here. All right. Nope, we went that one. All right. Researcher reveals that high achieving people are able to envision a detailed picture of their future. So low achievers live in present and the past. Let's talk about that or discuss that. Mindfulness people say live only in the present. I got my postdoctorate work. I did 18 hours in mindfulness at Duke University and another 18 hours at Harvard. They all talk about just living in the present. Well, we also discussed that you also have to be a high achiever, you have to have a future with your goals and aspirations clearly inscribed or defined. If I was to ask each one of you, and this might be something that you put in the chat before we break, what year are you graduating? Do you know that? That's a future goal, and that's you're aspiring to have a 4-year degree. You guys are high achievers. So that's really good. So high achieving people know their goals and aspirations. We're going to talk about a lot of our goals, and the final paper is all about you, and you talk about your goals. So it's all really good. This class is designed for you to become a high achiever, or not become, underline that you are high achieving already. All right. What is the value of disciplined thinking? It's the value of being precision. I want to be happy, or I want to get a GPA. That's not precise enough. No. What is a GPA to you? A 4.0? Is it achievable? Yeah, we're going to be talking about goal setting. Yes. My class, I want everybody to want that A, okay? A is specific. If I said just a good GPA, I could settle for a C, I could settle for a B. No, I want the A. What does study hard mean? I have many students when I teach this, not just at Brookline, but my other colleges that I teach, say, I study hard. What does that mean? Take an out-of-body experience. You're going to get used to doing that, or take a movie camera and put it up there, a movie camera. You don't need a camera cord. Take your cell phone and look at it. What does it look like when you're studying hard? Does it look like you're sitting at a desk? Or are you sitting on the couch? Does study hard mean that you're studying every night at 9 after the children go to bed to 10, or getting up at 4 in the morning? Does it mean that you're reading the chapter? Does it mean that you're making a list or a chart of your vocabulary words to get to 4.0? That's what you need to do. That's one of the things you're going to learn in this class. If you already know it, you probably do because you're here. The value of disciplined thinking. I let this go a lot, sometimes not a lot. I didn't learn about disciplined thinking, I would say, maybe in my 40s, and I'm 67. So I kind of went along with a lot of life, and I wish I would have had a more value disciplined thinking. I hope every one of you have it. It's worth almost everything. Is really good to have that. Okay, working towards a goal enhances your ability to understand. What is metacognition? Metacognition is thinking, is a self-awareness process during you're conscious, you're comprehending everything, you want to understand what it is. You formulate new questions and look for additional information, okay? In reading particularly, okay? So as you're reading, we're gonna talk about how you should be reading chapters, how you should be reading any of your medical chapters, how you should be reading any contract, how you should be reading anything, even a menu. You develop questions and you look for additional information. We're going to develop more of an insight in this class. What does insight mean? It's intuition, insight. You're going to look beyond just being, let's say, I'm going to use the example of being a pediatric nurse. You were going to start to look at, if you've never been a pediatric nurse, you may not even have You might say, yeah, I want to be that. But now we're going to look at it when the child is sick or child is near death or a child you just did a procedure on the child and that has created a good life for that child. Those are the insights that we're going to look at in innovating and see how you can make that child's life better. Those are things that are going to become a lot more natural after you spend 16 weeks on decision making. We're going to talk about pre-reading activities, how you should scan, develop questions, look at the outlines. You probably already know that. Discussions before and reading after a chapter or an essay. You can have a discussion with yourself before and after. Graphic organizer. I'm a spatial learner. We're going to look at all the different types of how you learn. I'm spatial. I like seeing things in pictures. I love maps. I love charts. I like seeing it like that way. Some people read visually, just like by words. Some people read by learn by hearing. It's different ways, but I like graphic. Structured overview. We look for overviews. I put one up in the beginning of this PowerPoint. That really helps you to learn. And why? One of the things I'm very key on is where I got my doctorate is in epigenetics, and it's about the molecules of life. And structured overview trains your brain and puts out just a little tiny splurge of one of the happy hormones. There's 5: epinephrine, norepinephrine, dopamine, oxytocin. You just get one little molecule that spreads because things are structured.
Oxytocin's for when you're in labor.
Yes, they teach you that. That's good. Yeah, you need that. And isn't it really neat that you can learn that? That's good. I like that. And networking. We're going to talk about networking. When you have a network, it's like thinking, if I can create a visual for you, if you look at you wake up one day and your bedroom now is not your bedroom, it's just a field of tall grass. If you're in Illinois, I was in Illinois, I can see tall grass compared to the desert. But you see just tall grass, like a field of wheat. And you have to get to the other side. Well, you just see that there's nothing there. So you make a path to the other side. You walk across and you get to the other side. Well, the next day when you wake up, you can see where the grass was kind of laid down by your footprints. And every day you go down that path, it becomes a road, becomes a big path, and it becomes a road. Then as you add life, you add other streets, crossroads. Then you start to add all the restaurants, the schools, everything that you do is all connected. That's what your brain looks like. From a newborn, their brain has neurons in it, and they're born with billions of neurons. But as you travel on your axons of your nerves, you make them stronger, and then they get a coat, and then, so that's what works. I get really excited about this stuff. So anyway, and mapping works too. So these are your ability, they all help your ability to understand. So it's 10:55. So how about if we take a break till 5 after 11 so I can post some of the stuff in class and make it more what it should have been on Monday. And I will do that every Friday to Monday over the weekend for the next week. So everybody want to come back at 11:06? Works? Somebody? I bet you the chat is saying, okay.
Yes.
Good, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'll see you. I'm going to go off record. If you have a question, say it now. Okay, I don't think I was in mute, so, or I've stopped that video. Hope I did, so you don't see me eating. Anyway, I'm back. We got another minute to go. Hello? It doesn't look like it's recording. Okay.
It says recording.
Yeah, it's recording on our end.
All righty. All right, I need somebody to say if they can hear me and see me.
I can hear you and see you.
Oh, here. Stop sharing. Yeah, okay, sorry. My camera is down on the bottom and I always look at the top of the screen. I'm sorry about that. Hope you didn't have to see me eating. Anyway, all right, so I am going to continue. We do want to have this class be one of the best. Add humor if you can, would be good. We got almost everybody in here. I don't have a student list like I had for the other class. I will make that up and then everybody will also get a number. And the numbers I'll explain next week, okay? I'm gonna share the screen again down here. And there we go. Okay, all righty. So we already did this one. Important. This is something important there. Okay. So how our minds work to improve their ability is what we're going to learn. We're also going to talk about how important a goal is that you recently achieved. So I want you to think about that because we don't discuss why we're online here. So did you do any steps that you remember that you took to achieve it? Here is, I thought I turned off my video and sound. Maybe I didn't, I don't remember. I know I was starving because I went on a couple-mile hike this morning, and the reasons I just didn't do my best thinking is because today was my friend's birthday, so I prepared for that, but I forgot to eat. So that wasn't great decision making. Anyway, do you want to develop interests that you have not been able to pursue in the past? Well, you are pursuing being in the medical careers, so you probably didn't do that in your past. Maybe you're older than 18 and you're starting to do this. This is a good thing to develop your interests when you haven't been able to pursue them in the past. Now I'm looking at a lot more neurological information. I wish I knew more about how the brain works. So that's what I'm doing. This happens to be in your final. You write the paper. You're going to choose your career goal. You're going to choose one of your academia goals and one of your personal goals. So what would be your career goal if you're going to be a nurse, or if you're going to be in the lab, or if you're going to be a dental assistant, whatever else, CNN, whatever else Brookline has for careers? That's what you're going to talk about. Your academia goal, what kind of goal, grade point average do you want? Are you just going to achieve your 2-year degree, 4-year degree, or a certificate? That's different than a career goal. Your career goal is becoming in the medical field, specifically like a nurse, a CNN, or CNA. CNN is a news, yeah. So CNA in the lab. Your personal goal. You can make this as deep as you want it or surface as you want it for your final. I once was, for 4 years, a Catholic youth minister, so I do know how to keep confessions and whatever you're talking about. I don't share it with anybody. So if you do feel the need to talk about something pretty deep, I'm okay with that. You'll get the same amount of points if you talk about something like my personal goal is to be able to do all my grocery shopping for the food I'm making every dinner, every night. You know, it could be as simple or it could be deep. This paper, the final, and this whole course is to be geared towards you, not me. It's not what I want you to do. It is what you want to do. So if you decide on anything, on the picture perfects that I put up, and you don't want to talk about a movie, put up something else. All right? You'll work it out with me. If you can tell me good reasons, there you go. You got it. Right? And curriculum is what the course wants you to learn. Also, I have a hidden curriculum. And most schools, especially grade schools, have hidden curriculum, right? A hidden curriculum for Brookline, they kind of persuade it, but is APA style. They want you to discuss an APA style. Another hidden curriculum in schools where they don't grade you on is walking in a single file. That's a hidden curriculum when you're young. My hidden curriculum is to be able to give 3 substantial, detailed, good reasons for every decision you make, even the little ones. So you'll be doing that, and that's an important phone call. Oh, well, okay. I can't take it. So that is what's going on. The value, we already talked about this. Where are we? We talked about that. Yeah.
She says no.
Okay, we are going to discuss what is a claim. Okay, a claim is you decide on making a claim. It's something that is what
Stephanie, can you mute yourself?
coffee cup is white. This coffee, oops, loud noise. This coffee cup is from Starbucks. That's my claim. Okay. You here are some claims that are from your mind taps. Nursing students should pass a writing exam before they graduate. That's a claim. Is it true? I believe it is. You have to take a board, but I think you take the board after you graduate. All healthcare workers must never smoke or vape or be obese. You're setting an example. All healthcare workers must never have a traffic violation. D, all healthcare workers must pass an emotional intelligence test. You need to brainstorm possible reasons in their claim. And so these are all going to be, they're all claims, but we don't have any reasons here. So you need to brainstorm. And this is one that I would like you to discuss if you are on ground, but we're not on ground, so we're not going to come up with reasons for any of these. I'm not going to give you my opinion on any of those. Somebody wrote in chat. Lawyers, okay, and advocates for their own issues, they pretend and they will argue in the case in front of us, fellow students. This is what you're going to do if we were an on-ground class, but we're not, we're online. So just think about those claims and how would you defend them? So working towards a goal change. So when I had the students turn in notes, they had to answer these type of questions. So create a list and the ways you'd like to change yourself. So for the next couple of seconds here, think about the ways you'd like to change yourself, okay? Make a whole list, make 10 ways. Okay, so I have like about 10 text messages. I'd like to be able to multitask. That's one of the ways I'd like to change. I used to multitask really well, and then I found out I had a lot of stress in my life when I was multitasking. So now I try not to, and so there, I'm not doing it. So you compose, you don't have to do this, but more than 150 when you start to make those. So this was in the Mind Tap. We're not doing that because we're not online. Okay, when we fail to achieve our short-term goals, why is this? This is a test question. When we fail to achieve our short-term goals, why is it? Because we skip one or more of the steps in the process. We should always have steps before we make a decision, even like the quick ones, okay? So not right now, one of my short-term goals is to learn how to multitask and text people, students that are in this class that are texting me. They're not going to get an answer from me until the next break. So that's not doing my short-term goal. I'm trying not to be boring. You see, I'm trying to think out loud to you. So I'm going to skip this, but I'm skipping the process. Okay. You always probably prioritize the time when you attempt to accomplish multiple goals, right? What is more important? To me, all of you are more important than the people that are texting. Your same students, your students in my decision-making class right here, but we're back and forth. They're having some issues, which I'm very sorry they're having issues, but to be distracted by them is not giving my full attention to you. So I prioritize you first before these. So that was, you compose a paragraph, a list of 100 words to make these changes. Here's another test questions. Implementing a plan of action, monitoring the results, and making adjustments. You stick to the plan at the end, till the end. This is something you need to do to make a good decision, okay? And here they have an organized way of making decisions, and you probably have learned this as a scientific method or just a way, and it's define the decision clarity, consider all the possible choices, okay, gather up all the data. Once you got all the data, list pros and cons. Let's say you're buying a car, you research all you want to buy a Tesla. You look at all the other electric cars out there. You put pros and cons for each. You might include the price. You might include how much it costs to do the electricity. All that stuff, you put it in there. And then you make a hypothesis, or you select one choice that meets the needs of you, and then you implement it. You put it into action. You go and buy the car. And then what happens if you deplete your bank account? Well, you need to make another one. So you make adjustments and you review it. So that's basically what we're going to go back and forth. Here they are again. You identify explicitly the short-term goals. Okay, what does explicitly mean? You get the details. Okay, I have an orange shirt on. Well, let's say it's an orange shirt. It's a sweatshirt. It has some kind of stitching in it. That's being detailed. Always use 3 details. I'm going to give you an apple. You might not be hungry, but if I told you the apple was freshly picked right after it rained, and when you bite into it, you hear that crunch sound, you don't feel like it's mushy inside, or that kind of texture inside is crisp, smooth. You can smell it. You might be more hungry and choose the apple. If I told you had to take notes sitting on a one-leg stool, you wouldn't take very good notes. But if the leg had 2 legs on that stool, you take notes a lot better. If it had 3 legs, no problem. Always do 3. Something is a hidden curriculum Always 3. A bicycle. If I told you to ride a unicycle, you probably wouldn't be able to do it. Of course, you can ride a bike, but you still kind of have to balance where you are. But if you had a tricycle or a 3-wheeler motor vehicle, it's a lot more stable. Always 3. Then you rank them in the order of importance, you pick the right one, and you apply a time schedule. Okay, so that's it. Look at how, I think there's at least 2 questions on that. All right, again, what you need to look for a long-term goal. Okay, we went from short-term to long-term. You got to find your talents. Every one of you, everyone has talent. I don't want to hear it, but if you say this, I might correct you, so don't get upset with me. Everybody has talent. Everybody is a genius in some way. Please tell your children they are talented, at least in one way. You don't have to tell them, oh, only in one way you're talented, only in one way you're a genius. No, just tell them they're talented. You are talented and you are a genius, okay? But you need to look at that, what your high talents are. One of your talents, every one of you, must be caring for others. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Your interest, you must be interested in the health of everybody. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And tell me the things that stimulate you and you think about the things, we're not talking here, that stimulate you and bring you satisfaction. You, all of you, must have satisfaction when you do help somebody. That must make you feel good. You get all 4 or the 5 of the happy hormones come out. You get a hits of dopamine, oxytocin, what's the other ones? Epinephrine, norepinephrine, and there's one more that serotonin. There you go. You get those when you do something good. All right. Here's something that I had to go and get my postdoctorate work in, to eliminate the negative voice of criticism within yourselves, and we must become aware of it. Know when you're criticizing. So I said, reflect over what you did during the day, and you could have done this choice of words in the conversation. But don't be hard on yourself. Know that's a criticism. Know you can change it, and know that you are the best, and be grateful. Okay? Reinstate the judgments in a more accurate, constructive way. If somebody is judging you, saying you didn't do that right, well, look where they're coming from. Maybe they are an expert in that field. Maybe they were right, but they weren't attacking you personally. Maybe they just wanted to help you be better. No, get tough with the voice of criticism. Don't eliminate it, it's still good. But and help other people get over that. Create positive, hidden curriculum here. Get positive voices. The world is good. COVID has hit us, but 2020 is not as bad as people like to believe. Many people, not some, or some people like to believe. It is not that bad. We're developing better relationships with our family. I can go on and on about that. Okay. Effective systems of achieving short-term goals. So now we're back. We did that. Why does I jump back and forth? Somehow it makes me jump back and forth. What is that doing? Okay. Visualizations. These are the things that you need to answer the questions. Create positive voices and visualizations. Visualize you doing well on the exam. Visualize you're doing well on your picture perfects. Visualize that for one of my struggles when I was raising my kids, my children, I guess I'm supposed to call them, and they were 5, 7, and 9 when I went back to school. And we had a retail business where my husband was gone 7 days a week, between 12 and 18 hours a day. Sometimes my children would annoy me. If you visualize how that annoyance can be a positive thing, it works, but you have to do it every day. You have to create it. So that's one of them. Visualize you studying hard for the course. Visualize you learning the medical terms that you need to. Visualize getting an A in biology. Okay? This is on the test a lot. The voice of positivity, the VOP. When we reinstate a judgment in a more accurate, positive, and constructive way, we are eliminating our own voice of criticism. So you always do a good job in some way. Maybe you failed, but there's always something you can learn about it. Do it. All right. I can be crazy, so yeah. Okay. Organized approach to making decision system. Get one. And the way you can get an organized approach to making decision, look at the previous decisions that went well. What did you do? Did you think about it before? Did you consider the decision in the past did not turn out as well as you hoped? Reconstruct the entire decision, your experience, as specifically as possible. Remember, if you're going to be buying a car, look at your entire environment at the time. Look at your money situation. Look at your relationship with one. Look at what you need a car for. Look at the whole experience while you're analyzing it, what you made, all right? As you see, there's an essay here, but we're not doing that. Those were essay questions. Okay, discuss a creative solution that you found to a tricky or difficult problem. Okay, a combination of work and school. One tricky problem is when your child is acting up in a store. You can't walk away. You can't spank them. You can't yell at them. What do? Your child is acting up. They're crying. They want a toy. They want something. They just want to go back home. And you can't. You have to finish shopping. What do you do? Well, first, you have to visualize that you're not getting angry. You have to visualize your child ending the temper tantrum, which in previous has lasted hours and days or whatever. Remember a time when your child was very happy. See if you can let your child remember that time. Think of why they are siding with it. If they're siding it because of the toy, you might say to them, oh, I know you want this ball, but right now, you see in my purse, I don't really have the money for it. How do you think we're going to get the money to do this? Or how we have 4 balls like this at home. We have a red ball, that really big, huge yellow ball, and you love that yellow ball. Talk to your child like that. All right? Be creative in your decisions, right? And visualize them. All right. Would your life have turned out differently if you were more creative? So this is going back into your past. You don't have to answer that, but just think about that. Would your life have turned out differently if you had made some other choices in your life? Mine would have. I wasn't very good at making decisions like when I was in high school or when I was even my first undergrad degree. All I know is I was a woman and I wanted to get the degree and I wanted to get married and I wanted to have kids. I didn't think past that. That's what women were supposed to do. I wish I would have. I would have investigated more of I was in the right field, medical, but I would have gone into neurology and psychology and all that. But I didn't. So, but I did, so think about some of the stuff. I know I'm using myself as an example. I can't really use any of you. So here's a test question, all right? One of the process of identifying and ranking goals is complete. Once it's done, focus on effective plans and strategy systems. The word here, which is not on your test, which is a new way to describe, is a system. You just can't say a plan anymore. You need a system, strategies system. So you need 1 or 2 ways what follows this. It's kind of like the steps to do it, to achieve it. So that is focus on devising effective plans and strategies to achieve your goals. This is another test question. Think of an important personal decision that you made. How might you apply the 5 decision making to help you make the decision, right? And how might you methodically approach to decision making, increase the likelihood that you will make better decisions, best decisions under circumstances? The more you practice this, the more atomic it becomes. The more atomic it becomes, the better you're going to be making that decisions. So if you think from now to next Thursday, think of all this. This is a good lesson to learn, okay? This is a pre-lesson, and we're learning the basics. So it's a look inside yourself. Talk about this with any of your best friends, your significant others, your children if they're old enough, or your parents. Talk about this. Use this to talk tonight. This is a good day, because guess what you're going to do tomorrow? Make all those New Year's resolutions. All right, a routine, conformity, and passive learning is called Langer calls, or what called Langer calls. Learned helplessness is mindlessness. All right, so this is a test question, as you can see. Routine conformity, that means groupthink. Many people, not many, let's say some people, few people, decided, I was going to go with the rebellion. Let's go with the mask. No, we're not doing that. There's two things. Let's say you decided it was important to you to support the people who were protesting. You wanted to be one of them. It's a good thought. But if you're in that group and they started looting and started being violent, I truly believe that some of the people that were in their rebellions or whatever you call it became violent, not because they were violent people or they left their home 6 hours before, traveled across the streets to be violent. I believe that they really are good people and they just wanted to show support. But when the group becomes violent, they became violent. They had no choice. They were there in the group and everybody was doing it and they became one. But they're still good people. So this is called Langer calls. It's learned helplessness and mindlessness. As an elementary teacher in 7th grade and learning about learning, this is something I want you, this is important. This is something important. It's called learned helplessness and mindlessness. All right, you have children and you may know somebody in your class that was like this, that they sat in class and you helped them with their homework. And the next day they got an A and they asked you again to help them with their homework. And so you helped them and they got an A again. Now the test comes along and they're not passing. Or the teacher comes and they say, can you help me do this? I can't do it. In other words, they've learned to be helpless. Many students, not many, some students that had learning disabilities, and I'm not saying everybody, some people with learning disabilities learned to be helpless when they were young. So let people fail. A lot of my generation helped their own children. I was one of them. Not to do it. It's easier for me to do things, to do it clean or something than have my children clean. It's learned helplessness. Don't do it to anybody. All right. Langer refers, and he's a person, Langer refers to life in which we use our affective responses and perceptions facility as being mindful. In other words, we're being conscious. When you're driving a car and you're driving and you've done that route for many years, you automatically turn into where you're supposed to go, like in your driveway, okay? That's not being mindful. But when you're conscious about it, you know the stop sign comes, you know there might be people that's being mindful. When you're in the present, and you know things that are happening. Can mindful be in the future? If you set goals, but you don't spend the time in there, but you set goals, yeah, it can be mindful as well. All right. An organized approach to making decisions. What is that? You consider the author's conceptions of mindlessness and mindfulness to help describe your experience. Can you do that? So let's go back to a decision you made. Were you mindful or were you mindlessness? This morning, I was both. I was mindful that I needed to get my friend's gifts in the car. I was mindlessness to figure out I needed to eat before I go hiking. Okay, so I was both. Okay, so that's an example. What is living creativity? In week 13, we talk about this for a whole 3 hours. Are you creative? Absolutely. Each one of you are creative. May not be in the same thing that I'm creative at. As you can see, I kind of like doing PowerPoints. But think of a time when you were creative. Maybe you wrapped a package, maybe you were cooking, maybe you figured out a math problem, maybe you figured out where to go for the night. You know, when were you creative? Weren't you having fun? Being creative is having fun. Okay? There's a strong correlation in research about being creative and a high IQ. The more creative you are, do you have a higher IQ? Depends on the IQ test, but yeah. When you become more creative, you understand and you trust the creative process. In the beginning of being creative, like if you're going to be an artist, which you know, that's major, people think of creative, they look for critiques and they may adjust their colors to what somebody is saying. Once you start learning to do it on your own, you eliminate the voice of criticism and you become a VOP, a voice of positive. You create a creative environment and you make creativity a priority. If you have children, make creativity a priority. If you have a patient, ask some creative questions. They probably are too. So, okay, another test question. What does creativity involve? It involves going beyond the information given to create or reveal something new. When I was a youngster, there was only one kind of Oreo, 2 black dark chocolate cookies with a white icing in between. Now there's hundreds of different kinds of Oreos. Even the stamp is creative. M&Ms, they came with just chocolate and they were coated. Now, I remember when they introduced peanut M&Ms, they had little figures. That was amazing. Now look at all the ways M&Ms comes. Cheerios, food, clothing. Look at the way everybody is dressing now. It's not just a suit or a tie. Very creative. Life blossomed. One of the good movies to look at creativity is, I think it's called Pleasantville. Everything is in black and white. And once the kids in the movie became creative, everything became in color. Disney World before color and then after color. Okay. When the mind exercises its creative muscle, it generates a sense of pleasure. Okay, here's those 5 hormones. Okay, so when you're creative, your brain tells the organs what organs to create. The serotonin, I think the brain does that one. Epinephrine and neoepinephrine is the adrenal glands. You get serotonin and you get oxytocin. Happy. Why would you want to have stress hormones like cortisol in your life? You're living a happy life, you get those 5 hormones, go for it. Okay. Now this Rollo May, this is a question. Researchers perceive creativity as unscientific. Sorry about that. That's my iCloud saying it needs attention. It's hyperactive. Okay, so creative thinking teaches us that there are many different ways of experiencing and communicating information. We need to go on that. So we need to think about that. So creative thinking teaches us that there are many different ways of experience in communicating information. What goes along with this, especially in this today world, oh, this doesn't move. Go back one. I wanted to enlarge in these words right here. So let's see if I can do that. I guess I can't. Shape outline is green. Let's go shape outline is black. That help? No. Okay. No judging anybody unless, I don't know. I don't know what that unless should be. Nothing. Don't judge anybody. Judge your own self. And that's the way it should be. Okay. If you live in their shoes, you're going to judge their life still with all your experiences. Judging somebody from their shoes is almost impossible because you don't have their experiences, but at least you'll be more empathetic and more compassionate if you think about that. All right, and I am thinking right here, we're going to take another break. Is everybody into taking another break until 11:50? I'm going to give you 8 minutes. Does that sound good? If you're still with me? Somebody needs to write in chat they want a break as well. Okay, 11:50. All right, I'm going to go again off. Okay, I am back. Alrighty. Let's see, what can I do here? Alrighty. So I need to resume share. I don't know if it was on share before. If it's not on share and you can't see the screen, just unmute yourself and tell me, because I see the screen all the time. You might not.
It's
It's
on.
showing it.
Okay, I think we should wrap this up soon. So we've been going for almost an hour and a half, right? 10, no, almost 2 hours. Long time. So as far as I'm concerned, I will go through this because I like this creative thinking, critical thinking, and how they intertwine. I think you can still do that, right? Let me make sure. Yeah. I like this, so I'm going to still talk about it for about a half hour. You've done your attendance for this class. Go to Picture Perfect, put in something in there for the class. If you can do that, that is really good. Let's enjoy it. Creative thinking, we're going to enhance both your critical thinking, your decision making, and your creative thinking in this class. So everybody is coming back. You know, did I say I'm back? I didn't say I'm back. I'm back too. Back too. All righty. So, oh, sorry, I'm pulling my hair back. I'm going to get comfortable. Outside this house, there's 5 trucks, 2 Amazon, 1 FedEx, 1 to inspect bugs. It's like a lot of people. All righty, that's just my experience. As you can see, I can talk to myself and talk to you at the same time. I don't do that when I'm in front of a class. So I could blame COVID for me pontificating. I don't know. Anyway, alrighty, here we go again. Okay, I like this little sign. This is not in your textbook, but if you think about it, it's true. When it comes to the future, there are 3 kinds of people. And which one are you? People who let it happen, people who make it happen, and those people who wondered what happened. I can be all 3 of these and give examples of when I let stuff happen to me, when I make it happen, and when I also wondered what went on. And in 2020, I think everybody goes in between all of these anyway. So what we're going to do in this course is we're going to analyze how our personal strengths and opportunities for improvement align to one or more of your career paths. Of course, the book was written for any career. You could be a construction worker, which to me is a lot of decisions. And if you like to create, you're going to be in a construction. You could be in financial advisor, still need a lot of creativity. But so this book was written for any, not just healthcare. We need to tweak it towards healthcare career paths. And in healthcare, there's many paths. And in nursing, there's even more paths. You can be, geriatric, cancer. I don't know, that would start with an O. You can be an orthopedic, which is not oncology, orthopedic, just so many that you can be. So we're going to get it defined. Maybe you don't want to define it now. That's okay too. You're just at your beginning of the line. So apply critical thinking to problem solving techniques and identify and resolve personal, interpersonal, ethical, and professional concerns. I have a lot of ethical and professional concerns in this class. One is because of my ethical beliefs of occupying time with you, that you have, you're a parent, maybe you're a parent, maybe you're a single parent, maybe you have another parent, maybe you're living with your parents. Maybe you're taking care of your parents. Maybe you're working one job with another job just to make ends meet. Maybe you're in a move. There's so much going on. I believe decision making should not occupy any more than maybe 4 hours a week. That's enough. If you're stressing about it, call me. Analyze your personal core values to understand and evaluate professional decisions and behaviors. As you can see, and I'll tell you about my personal core values, is I want each one of you, my value is for each one of you to be phenomenal in your healthcare career. That means that I cannot, in a decision-making class, make the bar so tight that you don't get a good grade. You're going to get a good grade because we're going to work together and you're going to participate, and it's not going to be as what I view as difficult. Okay, so that's that. There's we go. Living creatively. Okay, do I skip one? No, I did do that, right? Yeah. Okay, this is really good. And I want you to think about these questions. Do you have a value of living creatively? I did not. I didn't. My little sister did. I was raised with 3 kids, 3 children. I was middle. And my little sister was the artist. My parents, and am I being a victim here in a way? Yeah. But my parents had me be more of a happy-go-lucky person. My older sister was somebody else. She was a difficult child. But my younger sister was the one creative. She was the one that they emphasized doing artwork with. And that was okay. I mean, I'm glad where I'm at right now, but I didn't live a very creative life because to me, science was strict and rigid. No, science is more creative than anything else in the world. So I learned that, and living creativity, remember, when you're creative, aren't you happy? When were you not happy when you're creating? When you're picking out a pair of shoes, you're analyzing and saying which one you like better. That's actually being creative. So living creative makes you happy. What creative skills do you have? Are you artistic? Do you blend colors better? Can you see spatially and be an architect? Can you help solve problems really well in healthcare and see if a patient needs that extra pillow? I mean, those are creative things. Why are blocks called silly? Especially when I was growing up, you didn't want to be called silly. Silly was, quote, stupid. I don't think any of the creative people, Dave Chappelle comes into mind. He's one of my favorite ones. Letterman, Seinfeld, Bob Newhart, Gary Hart's a bad guy. Hart, what's his Hart name? And then there was another guy that had that accident in the car. Creative comedies. Comedy takes creativity. So somebody has an answer for me, really good. Kevin, yeah, Kevin is Kevin Hart. Thank you. And they're not silly. I think creative people are more intelligent than many people in the world. And they just think creative and they have a different way of looking at life, and it's more fun. So, why is creativity fun? Because you're producing all these fun hormones. Fun hormones again, dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Why does creativity create positive, happy, peaceful, confident moods, times, and attitudes? Because it smooths out. If you think of cortisol, a stress hormone, as increasing your heartbeat, well, yeah, you need it when you're scared or you're not doing well, but it also creates a distraction. It's kind of like if you were ever in the Midwest or in where there's snow, the salt on the road is good. It makes it so the ice melts, right? and so that you wouldn't slip and slide and get into car accidents, but it also corrodes the roads. So salt is like cortisol. It's good. It get you out of the situation, but it starts to corrode all your cells. So you don't need that cortisol. Don't, if you're stressing a lot, we'll work together. Call me. We'll work together to unstress you. Okay. So you can text me in the middle of the night. I may or may not answer depending on my sleep. Sometimes I fall asleep with my watch on, even in bed. I forget to take it off. So that will text me. I sleep with my cell phone right by me, so that'll text me. It's on silent, but yeah, I'll wake up and we can talk. I don't want you stressing for a moment. But if you email me, you might stress for a day because I don't go to my email. I don't carry my computer around with me everywhere I go. It's a little heavy, it's cumbersome. I love the phone. And so glad they have iPhones in the world. So anyway, that's enough about me again. I see to go back at that. Okay, steps to cultivating your creativity garden. A garden is always creative. My 13-year-old grandson, the one that gave me this rock, Stay Weird, what he wanted for his for Christmas this year and his 13-year-old birthday was seeds, seeds. He wants to grow exotic hot peppers, serranos, cacti. So yeah, that's what he got for Christmas was gardens. And a garden is creative. You look at gardens, they're all beautiful. You get absorbed in your task. Okay, so you let the outside world not come and barge in. You have children, they're going to create a place where you can be creative when they're older, not when they're toddlers, maybe when they can understand or you have another adult supervision with them. I actually, when I started teaching online, I had a kind of a walk-in closet that was kind of big, but I put my computer and my desk in my office, in my walk-in closet, because when my kids again, children need to be proper. When my children wanted my attention, they knew if the door was closed in my closet and in my bedroom, that they weren't supposed to bother me. They'd slip a piece of paper underneath the door, such as, my brother did something, my brother hit me, whatever it was. But it works. Allow time for ideas to incubate. That's when I still kind of have trouble with. Brainstorm with your own self, brainstorm with others. Have you ever thought of something and you did it, and then the day later you could have done it differently? So I try not to be, somebody can help me with this word, when you jump at it, sporadic. I try not to be sporadic. I like being sporadic. So I have a love-hate relationship with being sporadic. If the idea incubates, sometimes you get to have it blossom, and then it turns beautiful and smells better. One of the reasons I'm sporadic is I don't like grades. I will grade on Monday, Tuesday at the very latest, but I don't like them going through the week. I like doing things right away. So I set days to do them. Seize the idea when they emerge and follow through on them. That kind of is a little tug of war with number 2. But if you have an idea and you need it to incubate, first write it down and figure out when you can go through. It's going to be really good. Set a time aside to be creative. That may be hard if you work full time, you're going to school full time, you have children full time, you have a family full time, you have community or a religion full time. It's hard, but you can maybe do it. Okay. Okay, describe a specific incident. We can't do this online. Describe a specific incident where being creative had a negative social result. Okay, maybe you were judged really bad. Last year for Christmas, I gave my Christmas hikers, I gave them a white hat. Because one girl had a white hat and we all liked it and thought it looked really cool on us women. I have 5 hiking friends. I gave them a handkerchief so we could blow our noses. I gave them a tooth thing to clean their tooth, like, because sometimes when we hike long, we can't, get something in our mouth. It had a very negative social result. They didn't think it was funny. And I thought it was kind of fun and whatever. And I thought I was being really creative, thinking, I think I gave them 8 different things to hike with, such as a tongs you use to make a salad, to pick up somebody else's Kleenex and garbage, because we also will do that while we hike. We pick up garbage and throw it away. I think I was too personal. What caused the people to react negative to this behavior? I think they wanted something like a bottle of wine, t-shirt, just a hat would have been good. I think they judged me a little bit as being too weird. And how can we change the negativity to being positive? Well, I explained it to them and said that each one of these were really a fun thing. And after a while, they did get it. I'm not sure if they liked the Christmas gift this year a lot better, and I did get it. So I changed. Anyway, that's just an experience. I'm sorry if I'm not relating it to healthcare. So next week, tell me I need to relate it more to healthcare. I haven't been actively involved in a hospital healthcare for about 15 years. So that's why I don't relate everything. Anyway, that's enough about me. So people typically achieve their highest creative point as children. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this again. I am highlighting this. This is the correct answer in your mind tap. Do it. Okay. Put it as young children. This was a belief again in the 90s. Kevin Hart. He's very creative now. How old is he? David Chappelle. How old is he? Look at David Letterman. How old is he right now? Seinfeld. Okay, so those are all comedians. Look at Picasso. When was he? Actors and actresses. What young children have is they're not being as judgmental. The capacity of being judgmental comes from after the age of 1.5, 2, and on up, and more, especially in high school. When a child feels remorse and knows that they shouldn't do something, that's when they start judging themselves. Once you start judging yourself, you might not be as creative. Once you see how other people react and start thinking about how other people are going to react to you, your creativity can go down. That's why they write this statement. It is my belief. It's just like most of the media is fake. This is a fake statement. Okay, so that's that. Living creativity is crowdsourcing. So what does that mean? See, look at all the different potato chips. I can't believe they have a potato chips that's biscuits and gravies. This is an example. I'm not going to read it to you. You can read it if you want to go over that, because I kind of want to get finished so that you have a great afternoon, because it's past lunchtime for all you. But I am not hungry because, I ate on one of those breaks. So in what aspects of your life do you feel that you were most creative? I happen to like PowerPoints. I'm pretty creative at that. I'm pretty creative as finding activities for young children. I like doing that. Healthcare, are you creative in finding ways for patients to be more comfortable? Are you more creative in how to organize the patient's chart, or in surgery of what really isn't enabling them? Let's say that you've decided I think all of you should become doctors or whatever you want to be. But what is really wrong with them? And in what areas do you want to develop more of a creative approach in healthcare, in your personal life, and in your academic life? What do you want to do in those three? Okay. Thinking ahead, what are some conclusions that you should have from this? Is some conclusions thinking is directed towards a purpose, and creative thinking, critical thinking is thinking in an organized process. A definition of thinking is a purposeful, organized cognitive process that we use to understand the world and make informed decisions. And we can improve our thinking by examining our own thinking processes and the processes of others and improving ourselves. All we can do is prove ourselves. Can we improve others? I don't think so. We can say what we would like them to do, but that's all in our perspective. So practice our thinking and practice. Practice always makes purpose. I love mind maps. So here's one on thinking skills. And finally, living your life creatively means unique perspectives. Let everybody have their own creative talents. Develop them to all the dimensions of every one of your life, your personal life, all your relationships, your career life, any type of career, anything that you're doing, your academic. Creative thinking and critical thinking work as partners to produce the most effective thinking, and you'll make the most informed decisions and lead a successful life. Here's a couple more test questions. Develop and make full use of your thinking potential in order to create a richly fulfilling life. Okay, so develop and make use of your thinking potential in a creative, richful, fulfilling life. And from your own experience, describe a situation where you use both critical and creative thinking, even if you were unaware of it at a time. And that is a discussion question that you don't need to answer. And this is just who you're going to call. There you go. Call me. All right. So that's it. Anybody has question, unmute yourself. And let's see. Will you be Yes.
Oh, sorry. You can go that one first.
Look at the back stuff you said was a test question. Yes. The Moodle point in right now is different than this one. It should be different in the beginning, but I will post this one. I will also post the Ring Central. Ring Central may not be posted until tomorrow because when I leave the Ring Central site, it doesn't populate as a recording. So I have problems with Ring Central. So yes is the answer, Mary. Okay. You have another. Okay. Karen is going to ask one. So ask yours. I don't know who.
So for that test, it's me. Hi.
Okay, so can you just unmute yourself and ask away? Because maybe everybody else has the same question.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, I have another in chat. Yes. Yes to what? Sierra, yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think she can hear me.
Okay. Anybody has a question? I bet you everybody else does. Karen, do you have a question?
She's trying to talk to you, but I don't think you can hear her.
You can't hear you.
Because we can hear her, but she's talking.
But you can't hear me. Then write it in chat, Karen, okay? I'm sorry I can't hear you. She has been talking. Oh, I think what you really mean to say is I need to shut up.
Do we need to put in like breaks on the form saying that we were attending your class?
Karen, if you can type it or text me, that would be good. You can, I'm going to end the recording. Okay. So whatever you want is perfect. All right. I don't think you can hear any of us talking. Wonder why. Good point, Karen. All right, let's see. Did that work? All right. So somebody said I had to go to participants, unmute all. Maybe that's why.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, sorry. I am not a good professional, whatever I'm supposed to be. Okay, I'm not. So, okay, now I can hear you. All right.
Okay, so my question was for you've been saying like the test questions and stuff that are on the PowerPoint. Is that the test that's on MindTap?
I believe it is because last year when I taught this, I decided it is not fair for you to answer MindTap without knowing the questions first.
Okay, so since the MindTap test isn't working, do we not worry about that one this week?
No, but if you can and you don't have to. If it's not working and you need and you want to go ahead in it, I believe at the end of the year, I was told I'm supposed to give you a final and make sure every one of you complete the mind taps because that's what it's about. I stated my beliefs and I don't believe in test questions are the way to show intelligence. So
Mary said that on her MindTap it says you haven't set up the setup yet for like
oh, that's
why we're not
interesting.
able to access it.
Yeah, it won't even let us, it gives us an error message, so we can't even do the quizzes as of right now.
Interesting. All right, so I've never set it up. So I will need to figure that out and figure out why it's not working so that you can I can at least say, well, I give them the MindTap quiz or test. So let me figure that out. What will happen if I figure it out, make sure you know this, is that you won't be responsible for week 1 no matter what. No week 1, okay? Because that's my error and I got to correct it. And again, I'm sorry, I've never done it. So, and I didn't do it in the other class and it's working in the other class. Okay, MindTap says, okay, so this is Ryan. I just copied and pasted from the actual Moodle page and then put it in a Word document. Okay, so thank you for answering if there's another question by Ryan. You want us to make the attendance form? No, I made that and I will post it in the classroom. I already did in week 1 for December 28th that week. So thank you, Ryan.
So do you want us sending like we did yesterday with the other class, sending the attendance today?
Yeah, you're going to be sending in attendance every week to get the points.
Okay.
And it's at the end of class and it'll be on Thursday. I'm not grading it until Monday. I have to go into the faculty portal and mark attendance so that you get credit for this course. So I'm going to do it by those attendance sheets instead of writing down, oh, so-and-so attended here. That drove me crazy last semester. So
the homework that we have this week is just to do the attendance. If we're able to get onto the chapter 1 quiz, do that, and the picture perfect.
Correct.
Okay.
That's all you have to do.
Thank you.
And your first written assignment is at week 14. The first written assignment is week 14. I don't think I have a midterm. I'll look at that, but I think it's week 14 you do the first written assignment. And if you do it ahead of time, that's perfect. You can do all 3 of the written assignments. I'll put them up. You can do them all before the class ends. So you can study harder on your other more medical, biology, calculus, whatever classes you have that are giving you more pharmaceuticals, whatever is more difficult. Okay, so you don't get swamped at the end. All righty, there's 9. So we have more questions. Yes, I think so, Mary. Is the picture perfect? You keep mentioning it. I've never had a class with this, so I'm a little confused. Okay, Mary, that's a good question. If you were ever online before in an online course before, they might have had a discussion forum where you had to answer weekly a question. So the Picture Perfect is when we first went on COVID in March, I created Picture Perfect so that you could go in there and do a discussion and you get attendance. So what it is, when you discuss with anything, if I taught you, like going back to that octopus, that they have brain cells in every one of their arms, they smell with their arms, they can tell the light difference variance with their arms, they taste with their arms, they feel with their arms, they have brain cells in their arms, and they make decisions in each arm, can make their own decision. If I told you all that, a week later, you might not remember all the facts, except that they're kind of wild facts, but you might not remember them. If you discuss it with one other person, you have a better chance of remembering. Just like I gave you that vision of going down across a field of grass. Once you've gone down it, you see the path. That's why you have discussions, is that you remember more. Think about it with your friends, if you talk about something, you usually remember it. It's just creating that stronger axon. A nerve cell will create a memory, creates axons, and it's a chemical thing. And then they sheathe it, the more important ones, they give it a cloth so it can't be destroyed. That's what you're doing in a discussion when you have to reply. That's a long explanation for a short answer. And I tend to do that. Okay, now there's 16 questions. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay. Thanks all. Picture Perfect. No, Picture Perfect, I say is due Wednesday, is graded on Sunday night. Everything is graded on Sunday night. No late fee. I would prefer you to do it by Wednesday, but there is no late here. Everything, 11:59 is the time on Sunday night. Okay. So, and don't worry about the times that we break. Just say, I was here. Just give me a check mark. I have a hard time I like being in charge of things. I just have a hard time when you're adults saying, you have to attend from this moment to this moment or you're going to get an F. That to me doesn't work well with me. So I don't want you stressing. Okay. Oh, okay. Good class. Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Karen, and everybody have a great time. Be safe. Are we able to leave? Exactly. You're able to leave as long as you have a good time between now and next Thursday. You're able to leave. Okay. Happy New Year's to you. Happy New Year's. Celebrate it. I think. Okay. I have a question. Good.
It's nothing anybody has to stay for if they want to leave. But for the Picture Perfect, we're just answering one of those questions. And then did you want us to answer someone's discussion, or is that not something we have to do?
It's not something you have to do. Okay, your first question was, do you have to do, there's 3 items or 4 items or 5. Do only one. If you do 5 quotes, if you write about a decision, you will soon see that there'll be movies, trailers. No, you only have to do 1.
Okay.
Do you have to reply to anybody? Not unless you want to. It's really kind of neat when you do, but you don't have to. I mean, this is a lot of work in this class. There's a lot of work in your other class that you're doing. And then you're going to school full time. You have all those other classes. I want you to enjoy your life while you're at it and not have to spend a lot of time in this class. It should be pharmaceutical. If you're taking pharmaceuticals, spend most of your time in there. Okay. All righty. Let's say good night. All right. I'm going to say good night. So happy New Year's. Bye, Mary.